was a California August in '82 when my mother gave birth to the Spam Tech crew. 13 years later had me looking at Linux. Programming made me stronger like Papa the Spinach. Now, people know that a DG carry weapons, but if that weapon is a nest, you step in. We finish Contra with only one life. Finish Metal Gear 2 using only a knife. Right. People might think that we're frontin', then they see all the noobs online that I'm putting. My rhymes flow just like my code, even though my source is owned by SCO. What about my Indian? I keep it low. See me on Gunbound, call me pro. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. No. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I said my heart's wide open, goatsy, and my windows min like Ho Chi. I'm just another nerd, but I rap about it. Shit talk on the net, then I laugh about it. I've been caught slipping like the Star Wars kid when I'm on eBay sniping a bid. Catch me on a webcam like Numa Numa. See me at the club and I'm rocking Puma. Another net legend if you see me yodel. Spit a little something that's anecdotal. Tell me about the time the E-Bombs world stole your chop like I stole your girl. Catch me on Gen May, not something awful. Low tax would ban me, raffle. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spams. Yeah. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spams. Yeah.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated TonyTGD, and I'm joined, of course, by myself in comics, the mistress of manga, Bianca. What's up, Bianca?
Hello. I'm doing well. How about you, Tony?
I'm always doing fantastic. I don't think I've had a bad day in my life. Must be the horseshoe that I was born with, right up my ass. But we're going to be talking anime today, and a particular anime, Baki the Grappler, the 2001 series. We're going to talk about the first 5 episodes. This was suggested by Bianca. She said, hey, I know you loved the Netflix series. You were always raving about it. You won't shut up. You go around screaming that you're Baki. So why don't you check out the 2001 version? So I said, okay. I'll go ahead and I'll do that. So overall, what are your thoughts on the 2001 series?
I personally like it better than the Netflix versions overall. I mean, the craziness of all the fighters is still the same. I feel like the way they do storytelling is a little bit different between the ones on the Netflix and the one from the 2001. I guess I like the pacing and the story better a little bit in 2001. I mean, there's times in the 2001 version where I'm crying because I'm like, yo, that's messed up.
I've never read the manga.
Me neither.
So I don't know if the 2001 there was enough of the manga already written that they could have more fleshed out episodes. Whereas, you know how like with Dragon Ball Z, like you get a lot of good episodes, and when it's trying to play catch up with the manga,
Yeah, fillers.
yeah,
I mean,
you get
yeah,
all that filler. So it could be that there's a lot of filler in the newer series just because there's less to draw from.
probably. I never researched. Maybe I should.
Maybe you should. But I watched the first 5 episodes. Bianca already watched it before and probably rewatched it just for this.
No,
No? You get a lot.
I've been working nights this entire week, so I'm like tired.
Oh. But you're like a werewolf. You're supposed to like be up all night and running around killing rabbits and shit.
I'm a werewolf that sleeps.
Boo. I never sleep. Frog that never sleeps. What up, Justy? Just stopping in to say hi. Noah Jetty also stopping in to let us know that he's alive.
Good to know.
Which version has the best muscle art direction? I'd say the newer one.
Yeah, I think it's oh well, best muscle art. I prefer the muscles in the 2001, but obviously the one in 2018 are like crazy, which I'm pretty sure that's the purpose.
Yeah, the newer one's crazier. Plus, Baki's already older in the newer ones. Like in this one, we're going to show when we really get into it. But in this one, he really doesn't even have that much muscle because he's only like 13. Yeah. This is the quote unquote kid saga, right?
The prequel, the beginning, the origin.
Overall, the first 5 episodes, I hadn't seen the 2001 series before. I want to watch more. I stopped myself. I was like, no, just watch the 5, and next week we'll watch more episodes. But I was like, but I wanted to watch more.
I gotta know what happened next.
I do. Weirdly, so the theme song slaps hard as fuck. And I had heard it already before, and I never knew.
Really?
This is where it came from because I watch Kinnikuman. And someone did like a animated music video with the theme song from Baki, but I didn't realize that's where it came from with clips from Kinnikuman.
Oh.
So I already heard it. I was like, oh man, that's where the song comes from. I'm like, this fucking song's dope. I love this song. So great music. I think. So I watched 5 episodes. Like we watched the first 5, and I want to say there's mostly good pacing. Right? It's a little slow down, and when we get to it, there's a little the typical anime like this is the bad guy. Psych. No, he's not. It's this other guy.
Yes.
So it's paced good, and then like when it hits that point, you're like, oh. Then that other stuff like so I wasted like 3 episodes. So what you telling me?
Yeah, you wasted an arc. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah. So let's just jump right into it. I got some images. Hopefully we don't get flagged. We shouldn't. So this how the first episode starts. Right off the gate, we got this group of delinquents. They're all just gathered around. They're talking about they're getting ready for a big fight. They're like, yeah, we're gonna fucking whip some ass. And unbeknownst to you, the viewer, I was thinking like when I first saw this, I was like, oh, it's gonna be this like big 2 gang, clash, right?
Right.
No, it's not because they're all there waiting for this man here, this gentleman Baki. They're gonna whoop his ass. It's not really even clear why, right? It's just like they're there and they're like, when he shows up, we're gonna whoop his ass. And he goes in there, hops the gate, fucking takes it right to the main guy. Boom, whoops his ass. Whips the other guy that's like talking shit. And I think like they say like half of the people just kind of fucking leave. Because they're like, oh fuck. Then of course, because there's 100. They tell you that there's 100 of these delinquents there looking to whoop Baki's ass. So eventually the numbers do catch up to him. Right? It's back to the gate. They're just fucking whipping his ass. At the same time, we got the juvenile division correctional police officer. Right? He's there watching the fight. Which is weird because he's like him and I guess the lieutenant or whatever the fuck they are, They're just watching. He's like, hey, should we go help him? Like, no, fuck, Baki got this. Just chill. We're gonna watch the fight. So they're watching. Then you got some other guy. He's sitting there watching. He's on the phone with somebody, with a mystery person, talking about Baki whipped 37 out of 100 of the delinquents before it was broken up. Group of delinquents equals a gang? Nah, not really. I mean, it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of another, right? Because it's never really clear if all these guys are one group, right? Or if they're just a bunch of troublemakers all teaming up because of Baki.
I was wondering if they were being hired.
Well, we do find out that they are being hired. Because this gentleman here who is on the phone, later on, he's sitting down having a meeting with one of the gang members, the one that's running his mouth the most.
Mm-hmm.
And the implication is that he did hire him and the other gang members because he gives them payment. The guy's pissed off. He's like, this ain't enough money. We need more money. We need some hazard pay. And in the blink of an eye, boom, the old man here jumps up, grabs a fucking light, what are those, like light tubes, breaks it, and fucking puts it to the delinquent's throat. And I'm like, what the like, boom. Like, even the old dude has got fucking moves. It was insane.
It was insane.
Of course, this is who he was on the phone with. This is Baki's mom, who at one point kisses Baki on the mouth, which is kind of weird. Is this like a Japanese thing that I don't know about?
No.
Is this too Japanese for my American senses?
No. She's...
She's just weird?
Yeah, she's going through some stuff, I guess. But, have you ever thought how... You watched... You're almost caught up with, like, Baki from the Netflix one, right? Or
yeah,
you are caught up?
Those. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, have you ever thought one time about Baki's mom at all?
Well, they mentioned his mom. I think it was like in the first season, right before he sleeps with his girlfriend. They're like, if you sleep with your girlfriend, they'll get the ultimate power. I'm like, what? What the hell's going on, Netflix? and they say something about his mom, like that she hooked up with the dad right before he got like fucking super powerful or some shit. I was like, that was really weird. It's like all you incels, they're telling you got to get laid to be strong.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. I'm like, what the heck? And his dad is telling him, like, have as much sex if you want. And I'm like, okay, bro. But they have a pretty messed up relationship, which you will end up seeing later on. I mean, the husband and Baki's dad and Baki's mom. I don't mean Baki and his mom.
Well, they had a pretty messed up. I mean, already, like I said, she gives him a farewell kiss on the mouth, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's his mom, right?" I'm like, "There's not like a mistranslation going on or something like that. That's his mom."
That's his mom. I mean, as I was gonna defend it, but then I'm like, not for teenagers.
So, the episode ends, and I don't got many pictures though. With this man here, Yuri Chichovsky. Baki is watching him. He is like the boxing welterweight champion, something like that. And basically, he's in the gym sparring, and no one wants to spar with him. He's getting ready for a big fight. No one wants to spar with him because he's such a badass. He's the most badass of all badasses. And that's how we end episode 1. And episode 2, thankfully, just picks up right where there's no like drawn out Dragon Ball Z like side story where fucking we're following a character go get butter or something. Right? No, it just picks up right.
You go straight into it.
Yeah, straight into it. Baki's in the gym watching him. He basically shows off on the punching bag, gets Yuri's attention, says, "Hey, I want to get in the ring. I'll spar with you. Me and you. Come on, let's go." Of course, everybody's like, "What? You're like a kid. Why would this grown man who's the boxing champion? Why would he spar with you?" But eventually, he does agree. They get in the ring. And for the second time in 2 episodes, we're 2 episodes deep. Baki loses the first fight. They even tell him, like, even though that it's 100-1, you lost, right? A loss is a loss. Then he goes in there to spar with Yuri, and he gets his ass whipped. I was like, man. I was like, he is the main star, right? This is the Baki series I'm watching, and he gets fucking just demolished. Which is weird.
Because when you watch the Netflix one, he's mostly winning a majority of the time. So when I saw the 2000, I constantly remember the 2001, and I'm like, those are the days when he just got whooped.
I mean, in the Netflix one, he's already at the point where he's just like, he looks at a guy, touches it with his pinky, and the guy like fucking crumples into dust.
Yeah, he's already like too OP now.
Yeah, but in this one, no, he's learning. He's learning the ropes, and he got nothing. He gets beat up. Meanwhile, this is the second episode is where we find out that the fight was set up, and that guy, his name is Kiriyagawa, or some shit like that. K guy. He's like looking for other people to set up to fight Baki, and he finds out about a guy named Hanayama. He is the current like head of some like mafia family. Super badass. 15 years old. He's like, oh, that's perfect because Baki's 13, right? So we'll get this 15-year-old guy. This guy right here, on your right, the man in the white suit, 15. What are you feeding this child?
I love him so much.
Apparently, he is, like I said, he's a 15-year-old. He got a scar on his face because he went into some other like gangster's lair, palace, whatever you want to call it. He just like beat the shit out of everybody. Territory, yeah. He beats the shit out of all of them. He's such a badass. He can take a quarter and just squeeze it between his thumb and index finger and just bend it in half. Super OP. Everybody fears him. And of course, they're like, yeah, you're perfect. You're perfect to fight Baki. Baki also, he had like the best trainers. His mom was like a trillionaire. Supposedly the mom's like a trillionaire or some shit. She's like the richest woman in the world. So they bought him like all the best trainers, all the best equipment. He's like, this ain't helping me. This is bullshit. You're not going to make me strong by doing this bullshit. So gets his ass whooped. He's feeling kind of depressed. He's like, I need a new method of training. That's where we lead into the third episode. And oh shit, this third episode was a... it threw me for a loop. Not gonna lie. So Baki runs away from home, right? He's apparently he doesn't have to go to school or nothing, right? He just picks up and leaves.
Yeah.
He decides he's going to leave school. He's going to go up into the mountain, and he's going to camp in the wilderness because for some reason, camping in the wilderness is going to make him stronger, right?
You have to have those journeys in anime.
Yeah, it's not really explained, right? Because like I said, he had the best trainers. And he had like, energy drinks, supplements. They're like shooting steroids into his ass. He's fucking Ivan Drago, right? From Rocky. But that's not good enough. I'm going to go camping. Camping is going to make me tough. Like fucking lifting weights? No. Fucking camping, catching fish. So he goes out into there, right? And he meets Andu. Andu is a fucking giant. Literally modeled after Andre the Giant. This is the size difference between these two.
He was modeled after Andre the Giant?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell my brother that.
How did you not know that?
I didn't look it up.
Man. You don't do no research?
Nah.
Yeah, it's modeled after Andre the Giant. That's why his name's Andu. Like Andre. So he goes there. Apparently, Andu is friends with his dad, who is the baddest of all badasses, right? Like, his dad is like the top guy. They don't really explain why at this point. You just know he is, right? Just like, hey, his dad is super badass. So he goes, he's like, hey, we're going to go do some training. And Andu's like, hey, I'll help you. Don't worry, man. We got it. But then he's like, hey, you know, this is all well and good, but I don't want to stay in the house. You got a house. This is not what I want. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go camping at Yasha Rock. And Andu's like, hell no, you can't go over there. What are you, crazy? And the reason why he can't go there is because there's a giant fucking ape. It's like Blanca on steroids. Plot twist, the tiny guy's only 5'5". Yeah, the other guy's 6 foot and Baki's 5'5". Right, so there's this giant ape creature named the Yasha ape. Apparently, there's a legend of great warriors going off into the mountain and never coming back because the ape has beat their ass. But we find out that Baki's father had previously also went down over to the mountain and beat the ape. Or a ape. They don't really specify whether it's the same ape. Just like, hey, he went there and beat an ape. Right? There used to be 4. Now they're just down to the 1. So Baki's like, hey, I'm going to take him. I'm going to take him. And once again, Baki gets his ass whooped. Has to get saved. So this leads to Andu getting injured. Baki running with his tail between his legs. But he's coming back. He wants that rematch. He's going to do whatever it takes to get a rematch with the ape. This is the... Like the mom is watching the upcoming fight with Chachovsky, whatever his name is, right? With the boxer guy. And I love when anime does this, where like someone's talking, and then someone like miles away is like doing the thing that they're talking about. It's like, you're gonna learn, Baki, how to reach further than anyone has reached, and then like Baki's doing that, and I'm like, how does he know? How did they time this? Like, she's talking about Baki pushing himself past the limit, and he's doing it as she's talking. Like, it's amazing. Like the amount of ESP that she has. So apparently, when you're a fighter, you have to push yourself to when you're like on your last breath, and then you keep going, and this like increases your power, right? But it's not the only thing. Apparently, right before you die, like the moment right before you almost die, your senses are heightened, like super. So Baki throws himself off a fucking cliff so he can almost die in order to heighten his senses, get that like in the zone. And at that point, he's like hopping down he falls down like a fucking sheer cliff, and right before he smashes his head open on a rock, his senses kick in. Now he's like hopping from rock to rock and just lands on his feet. And I'm like, wow, this is impossible. We're that far past the Rubicon with this shit already. 4 episodes in. Of course, Baki, eventually he's ready. He's going to take on the ape. He figures that the ape is scared of fire. They learned this, so he makes a little fire circle around the ape's lair, or presumably where the ape's lair is, right? Takes him. They're fighting, but he figures out right away that he cannot fight this ape like he would fight a regular person, right? Because it's not working. His technique, his skill, the way you fight a person is not the way you would fight a beast. So he's got to adjust. He's got to adapt his style to take this beast on. And it looks like he's going to lose, right? We were like, oh shit, Baki's going to lose. But he turns it around. He starts winning. But then, of course, wouldn't you know it, Andu shows back up, shotgun in hand, and just starts fucking blasting. And I'm like, oh, you interrupted the fight. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And Andrew's like, I got him, Baki. Don't worry. I'm going to fucking take him out. And Baki's like, no. We're fighting. We're fighting. You got to stop. And Andrew, again, he's like, dude, this thing is like 8 foot tall. It's like fucking 2,000 pounds. He's going to fucking eat you alive. Yes, I'll not shoot him. I'll let you fight him. The fight, Baki wins. He pulls out the upset victory. He fucking wins.
Yeah, let's go.
And then he's not satisfied though, right? He wins, but he's not satisfied with the win because he feels that he wouldn't have won if Andrew didn't shoot him, right? He's like, if Andrew, if he didn't show up and shot him, he might have turned it around. He might not have been vulnerable to what I did to him. But Andrew's like, no, dude, you won, right? Like you fucking won. And if you don't believe me, go see the ape, right? Go see him. And he's like, what? Go see him. He's like, yeah, his lair's over here. Just fucking go down this cliff, go down this trail, fucking go in the lair. He's like, ain't gonna eat me? He's like, no, don't worry. He respects you now. This wild animal respects you now. And so you go. He's like, while you go, I also have the skull of another one. Why don't you give that back to him? Yeah. Plot twist, it's the skull of his wife. So he brings it, and apparently the ape creature is not just an ape creature. It is a ancient, like, pre-human offshoot or something, because it has culture. It has, like, all the dead skeletons lined up. And Baki realizes that this isn't just a wild animal. This is a warrior from the past that has survived countless generations. And he breaks down crying because he has fought an ancient warrior. I was like, what the hell am I watching here? Like, why? Why is it doing this? Why are we getting soft all of a sudden? And the ape creature gives him a tooth. It's like, here you go. Here's my tooth, buddy. You earned this. Did you like this little back and forth, Bianca, between the ape and Baki?
I personally did. It's not done yet, but I'm not saying anything.
Oh, he's gonna come back. He's gonna make a return, huh?
Yeah.
So we got that going on. All right. The ape gives him a tooth. Goes on his way. Baki heads back home. He's all set. He's going to go take on fucking Yuri. He's ready for it now. He's like, I'm going to go beat up Yuri. I'm going to go get my revenge. I'm going to get my win back. Because that son of a bitch beat me up. Now and I'm like, I'm all for it, right? I'm like, okay, this is what we've been building for, right? Episode 5 is going to be it. We're going to get fucking Yuri and Baki, the professional boxer versus this 13-year-old kid. I'm ready for it. And apparently, at this point, Yuri has challenged, like, he's a welterweight, and he's, like, challenging the heavyweight boxing champion, right? He's beefed up, and Baki's watching, and he's like, he's slowed down. And they're like, what? Like, the dude's moving, like, fucking faster than we can watch. Like, no. He's lost, like, 0.25634 seconds off of his movements. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he's a little bit slower because he's bulked up in order to become a heavyweight, to fight, in the heavyweight division. So he's lost a little bit of his edge, just a little bit. And again, this is very important that they're going over this, right? Because Baki's studying him. They've been building up. He's going to take on the world heavyweight champion. And presumably, after he wins that, him and Baki are going to face each other, right? That's what we've been building up to, right? Right, Bianca?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing in the series that could stop this from happening, right?
Totally.
Totally nothing. Except for Hanayama shows up because he's like, you want me to fight? He's like, you want me to fight Baki? Well, I'm not going to wait. I don't want to wait my turn. I don't want to wait until he fights Yuri. I want to fight him now. And they're like, dude, no, that's not the deal. He fights Yuri, and then he fights you. And Hanayama's like, nope. I am a gangster who does what he wants. You've hired a madman, and you're going to get a madman. So he shows up to the arena, and he grabs Yuri's arm, and he squeezes so fucking hard that his arm explodes. And I mean that in the little, like, he grabs it, and there's like a pop, and they even say like his arm like pops. And he can't fight. He can't box. He can't fight. It's over. There's no Yuri Baki fight.
And his career's gone.
And his career's over. They built this guy up. Like I said, they built him up from the end of episode 1 till now, episode 5, right? So it's like he shows up at the end of episode 1. So like, that's the antagonist. That's the guy, right? We showed you what, the little bit of story, and then you end with the antagonist. You get the little filler. He trains. He's going to meet the guy. He's going to get his win back. No, not Baki. You are now fodder. You were never the guy. You thought you were the guy. We thought you were the guy, but you weren't the guy. You were the guy that gets his ass whipped by the guy. Because Hanayama, he's the guy. And of course, Baki finds out about that. He's like, Hanayama's the guy. He shows up to his
Pad,
his building. I don't know if it's an office building or a personal house, but he shows up, beats up a couple guys, gets into Hanayama's face, and that's how we end it, with Baki getting ready to fight Hanayama. And I am so looking forward to the next episode. And it better not be, someone better not show up. Right? Doppo Orochi better not show up and fucking like smack Hanayama out the window. Like, no, you're not the guy either. I'm the guy. Like, oh, I'd be pissed.
So that doesn't happen.
Good. Thank God. Tell me they fight, though.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to it. I thought these first 5 episodes, like I said, they were good. They had a good pacing. I didn't like the little, like, you built up this Yuri guy as being the guy, right? I'm like, oh, he's the guy. But he's not the guy. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? And I don't think he's in the Netflix show or mentioned in the Netflix show at all.
You mean Yuri?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's not been in any. He's a one and done.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, that's it for him, right? He's like... So it was kind of weird that you would have this build-up. They even go over, like, he's, like, Mongolian. I know he doesn't look it. But they're like, he's Mongolian, and he's got like the spirit of like the toughest Mongolian tribe, and he sees that spirit in Baki, and they're both warriors. Like, you go through all this shit, this backstory, you give them all of this motivation, and then you're just like, nope.
Yeah, I believe it's gonna happen a few times. I don't remember how many.
But why? Like, they go through this whole thing, like he beats up a bunch of wolves as a youth. To rescue his sister. They're like on the fucking plains, and they're surrounded by like 50 wolves, and they're like, we're gonna get eaten.
Bro, they do that in anime a lot. Like, there's wolves, there's tigers, there's bears.
But I'm saying, like, they're like, don't worry, he's got this. He's like, I got the sixth sense, and I know when the enemy's gonna attack. And he's like, pop, 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 fucking knocking wolves out with his fist. And it was all for nothing. Like I said, it's like he gets fucking punked out by Hanayama, and that's the end of it.
Yep. It will. They're gonna get beat. So, excuse me. I feel like it's such a jab. Like, yeah, we get your backstory. You're not gonna win anyway, so screw you.
Oh, he didn't even get a fight. Like, it was like,
I know. I was looking forward to that, but I'm like, well, we're getting the other guy, and I love the other guy, so let's go.
But I am looking forward. I'm looking forward to the other guy fight, Hanayama. Yeah. They have built him up, and I know he does show up in the Netflix show. He does whip some ass in the Netflix show.
He's barely in it, though. I think he was only in the first season.
Yeah.
And that sucks. He was like my favorite character.
Why? Because he looks like he's 40?
Yeah, and he's like, bro, I just want to be I know. Oh, I'm not saying anything. Never mind.
Poor Bianca. But no, like I said, I thought it was really good. It was really good. I'm glad I watched it. I want to watch more of it. I think next week we should talk about the next 5 episodes.
Which I will be watching this time because my schedule is a lot better.
I am so looking. It better not let me down. That's all I'm saying. It better not let me down. Shane,
I will not make any promises on purpose.
On purpose?
On purpose.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, the music is great. The animation, I'm not a fan of the shading. I don't know if it's because it's old.
Probably.
Maybe it's because, again, I'm not watching it like an HD. It's like it looks like a VHS rip, not going to lie, right? So I don't know if it's dark like this because that's the way it is, or if this is like a result of, compression from the...
Oh, I got something about the mother scene. So apparent. They'll do a little bit of a deep dive, but she's really obsessed with Yujiro, but it's to the point that she kind of sees him in Baki, which is why she does stuff like that. Baki explained in the manga, which I don't think they ever explained in the anime at all, that that it wasn't like a parent and a son. She was having she was treating him more like her husband, Yujiro, rather than an actual child, which actually makes a lot of sense. Which I'm not going to say why, because that would be a spoiler.
She was treating Baki
like
her husband?
Yeah, she was treating him like Yujiro because that is Yujiro's son. So she was kind of projecting her love onto him, which is why she kissed him she would do stuff like kiss him in the mouth. Apparently, we don't know how much stuff she did. It's not explained, but he was definitely abused as a child.
Wow. It's just crazy. It's crazy. You know what's really crazy?
He's that obsessed.
You know what's really crazy about this? To take it away from the weird reverse Oedipus complex that Baki's mom has. The first opponent, and I don't know if this is just like so coincidental that we're talking about this now, but the first opponent here, right, is or the first rival or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the first character with a name, right? Yuri is a boxer. He's boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And Baki is like, he's really interested. He wants to box him, and then he kind of is like, you know what? Boxing's kind of pussy, right? It's not a real martial art, right? And I think that they get more into that like in the next couple episodes, right? But he's like, boxing's not really martial arts. It's kind of a pussy. It's a pussy sport. And then where we're at the end of the Netflix, right? They have introduced Muhammad Ali Jr. and they're like, boxing is a fucking martial art. And they're like, what? Because in boxing, because even in the Netflix show, they're like, boxing is a martial art. And apparently Muhammad Ali was working at perfecting the art of Muhammad Ali boxing, right? And apparently when he throws his punch, he's pushing with his foot on the ground. And that increases the power of his punch because he's kicking the earth and then reflecting that kick through his arm. Or some bullshit like that. Some really weird, convoluted, like, yeah, he's actually really kicking while he's punching. And I was like, what? So the series has gone from boxing is for pussies to boxing is super awesome and it's equally valid as any other martial art. Which I find really weird.
It is really weird.
So, I just found that interesting, right? You know, we're just at the perfect time with that because boxing starts with boxing, and right now it's ended with a boxer who gets his ass whipped like a lot. Like you think Baki gets his ass whipped, fucking Muhammad Ali Jr. They just whip his ass like repeatedly. Like it looks like the last time he shows up, like before he fights Baki, right? Like prior to the Baki fight, Muhammad Ali Jr. is like, boom, Dobo beats him up, and then the other guy beats him up, and then the fucking other guy beats him. I'm like, damn, just everybody's beating his ass up. Shane says, "How dare you, sir? Originally, boxing had unlimited rounds, and death was far more common. 50-round fights were known before Queensberry rules." Well, was it really boxing back then, or was it just two guys beating the shit out of each other? And actually, after the Queensberry's rules, did you know more people have died with boxing with gloves than they have without gloves? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. There's actually been more injuries and more deaths from people boxing with gloves than all the years of them boxing without gloves. Because before, when they didn't box with gloves, when they had no gloves, fights were stopped a lot sooner, right? You hurt your hands. It was less about, just hitting the guy like fucking 100 times in the face, right? Because you would hurt your hands, obviously. You'd break knuckles and stuff. So, all right, dead guy. Take it easy. Two guys beating the shit out of each other, no gloves. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah. Mom's weird. Dad's weird. Baki.
Dad is bad.
Is he bad?
You're going to see all the stuff he's ever done. I know to me he is evil incarnate.
Is he? Is he?
To me, he is.
I've only seen, like I said, I haven't seen the 2001, and I'm only going off of the Netflix.
We're gonna go
stuff.
into Yujiro's backstory. You're gonna see how messed up this guy is.
But everything they've shown, right? He doesn't seem so much as a bad guy, more like Akuma, right? Like he's just a dude going around like looking for people to fight.
No. He's worse than that. It is an obsession, and having an obsession is bad. But what you do while you are obsessed is the messed up part.
Well, I mean, Akuma's obsessed with fighting the ultimate fight, and
Akuma would be considered like an antagonist, right?
Okay, so I went to Twitter. I went to Google, and Google has directed me to Twitter. And apparently, Yujiro, he took advantage of a fellow. He took advantage of a fellow.
A fellow?
A man. He took advantage of a man. He gave him the business.
Well, it's not all he did.
Because apparently he's got so much testosterone that he sees everyone else as a woman. Mm-hmm. Like, you're all just women to him. And he's just a big old rapey bastard.
Yes. But be careful, like as soon as you search up something, you can get spoiled heavily.
Yeah, that's yeah. When he's Joe Jackson. He's worse than Joe Jackson, apparently.
Like my brother and I were spoiled with the ending, and I was like, I don't feel satisfied. I'm gonna watch it till the end, but I'm never gonna be satisfied with the ending.
I don't know. Like I said, what they've shown in the Netflix series, he's not so bad of a guy. But
It's so weird. It's so different. And like here, like you see him as completely normal. If you didn't watch the 2001, you don't get the backstory. You don't see why he does what he does and what he has done and how he's willing to get to where he is now. I'm just like, yo, this guy needs to be put down.
Yeah, I mean, they just treat him like in the Netflix series. They just treat him like,
He's just a strong guy.
yeah, he's oh look, it's fucking badass Yujiro, and like everyone's just like cool with it, right? Like he's just like a dude.
Like I don't remember how much they showed in the Netflix series, but like in this series, they show like he has control. He has control of the military. He can have control of the president. He literally has so much power that nobody can refuse.
Bianca's right. He is the devil.
Oh, because I believe in his back it's like a devil ogre thingy.
Ogre.
So some symbolism maybe.
Yeah, his muscles like are so big and weird that they shape like a fucking ogre face or something.
Poker face, poker face.
I said ogre face, ogre face.
I know.
Yeah, he's got Shrek. He flexes and Shrek shows up in his bag.
It's never really ogre.
Yeah.
It was never ogre.
But yeah, in the Netflix series, they just treat him like I said, like they do say that he's like super powerful, that like all the world governments, like he's a world superpower onto himself, and they have a satellite that follows him around. They're like, this dude can just do whatever he wants, no one can stop him. We just kind of like get out of his way, right? We're like, we just hope that he doesn't like kill the president. Like, we don't piss him off, basically. But they really don't. Like, they're not like the guy's evil. Like, there's not like a plot to like put him down or like how are we gonna, like stop him. They're just like, hey, Yujiro, what's up? What's going on?
It is, and I hate that. And I'm like, yo, you made him as such a menacing threat in the original series. Like, and in here you're just treating him so differently. Like there's obviously the fear. The fear is still there. But how he is treated in that anime or that part in the anime, or maybe it's that part of the manga too. I'm just like, can you show him why he shouldn't be alive? Gosh dang.
Yeah, Shane says good and evil are just points of view, according to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Yujiro has layers like an onion. Yeah,
they ain't good layers though. Nothing he has done has been positive.
What are you talking about? He did positive. Like that's what I'm saying. Like in the Netflix show, they show him do some positive things. Like there's that
against racism.
Against racism. He respects Muhammad Ali. And then there's that like giant elephant or something? Like they're like, there's a rampaging prehistoric elephant. It's gonna kill a bunch of people. And then like Yujiro just shows up and like kills it.
Yeah, but he didn't do it for the good of the people. He just wanted to fight it.
Yeah, but it was still good ultimately, right? He didn't like not. No, he didn't like let it kill a bunch of people then fight it. He was like, oh, fight it now.
Yeah, because the people are weak. Yeah. He hates fighting weak people.
But I'm saying it wasn't seen like he didn't like lord it.
It was just supposed to be a cool scene.
It was, but still, it worked out pretty well. It made him seem
I don't care if he's not racist. He's still evil.
He's like, don't you mess with that black man in Japan. And I'm like, yeah, see?
Which was very surprised. I'm like, out of all the things you have done, you're just somehow not racist. And I was like, very interesting. You're still a scumbag.
Maybe I have been wrong about this racism thing, if he's not racist. But no, even that was weird. Like, there's just so much weird shit.
My brother and I did talk about it. We were like, wait, he's not racist? I was like, well, we didn't assume he would be racist. We're just very surprised that he's not racist. Like, we didn't think he would actually care. Like, hearing him say that he looked up to Muhammad Ali, and we're like, huh? And I'm like, you looked up to somebody? That's weird.
I know that there's like a reverence for Muhammad Ali in Japan. Like they hold him in high regard, especially because Muhammad Ali fought Antonio Inoki in a wrestling match, right? That was like a big deal. and there was like a show of mutual respect. Even though Muhammad Ali punked out and he didn't want to fight, and then like Antonio Inoki had to like lay on the floor and kick him in the shin for like 5 minutes, but still, it was seemed like a big deal and like a whole like, you know, this is our greatest wrestler and like he's fought him and they're like equal, right? So I get that, the cultural thing about it, but it's just weird, like you said, because like it's just like Yujiro Hanma is like killing fucking giant elephants. He fucking fears nobody's blowing up tanks. Governments are scared of him, and he's like, Muhammad Ali, oh my god, I'm such a fan of yours. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
It seems so out of character, and I'm like, was this in the manga? Was this just added in the anime?
Virtue signaling may be evil. Yeah.
He just virtue signaled Muhammad Ali's son.
Yeah, it was the weirdest fucking thing. And then he's like, one day my son will fight your son, and it'll be the epic battle of the century.
No, and it was not.
Yeah, it was not. It was far from it.
It sucked. I was so disappointed. I was so angry.
Same reason cold drug lords give out turkeys to the community to cleanse their sins. Okay. But like I said, overall, I'm loving this. I can't wait to watch the next 5 episodes.
Woot.
We're going to talk about those next week. We might end up watching the whole fucking 2001 series, 5 episodes at a time. Because I'm on board. I don't see a reason not to. Hopefully it doesn't let me down. Hopefully it gives me a better understanding of the newer series. Because that was one of the things that even though they're like... people would show up, they're like, that's Dopo Orochi. He's super badass. But you really didn't understand exactly why. And I'm hoping...
He is a character in this series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like a lot of people from the Netflix one are in this original one.
Good. So
we're going to get backstories and all that stuff. Woo! More tournament arcs.
More. Baki's like the whole thing is a tournament arc, right? Isn't the
exactly.
whole like the series is a tournament? Theoretically, it's all like we're gonna like dethrone Yujiro. That's the whole point. And you know how that meme like anime when I'm alone and then anime when your parents walk in.
Oh no.
So I was over by my dad's, and they got the Netflix too, right? So I think it was like Thanksgiving or
why
one of those. Like, so I was like, oh, let me watch some Baki while we're waiting for the food, right? And I think it was like outside grilling, and I'm watching, and it's the newer one. Like I think it was like the last season where Baki's gonna fight Biscuit, right? And they're all in prison. I'll set it up. They're all in prison, and Baki's got himself thrown in prison because Biscuit is in prison, but he's so badass that they allow him to just leave prison whenever he wants. Because he just basically, like, he agrees to come back. And he's got his fat girlfriend that lives there, right? So, Biscuit doesn't want to fight Baki, though, because he's like, no, like, you're a punk kid. You're not ready to fight me, right? And so at one point, the guards, like, beat him up, and they throw him in, like, the hole or whatever, right? And then Biscuit whips it out and just pisses on Baki. And that's when my dad was done grilling and decided to come in. He's like, what the fuck are you watching? I'm like, it's anime? He's like, why is that guy doing? I'm like, I think it's supposed to be showing him that he's like so bad, like he's such a badass, and you're not. Like I can just pee on you or something. I was like, symbolism.
Unless you're watching something like tame, like Sailor Moon, you ain't allowed to watch anime in front of the family or near them.
It was an anime moment for sure.
It always happens when I'm home, always, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch on my laptop in my room. I'm done.
Yeah, Bianca's mom is just pounding on the door. You in there watching anime? Cochina.
Yeah, that she doesn't care. It's the noises I hate.
They're fighting, I swear, Bob. I don't know. Dad, I'm grown yet.
I can watch people pee on other people
It's so
in
weird.
animated form.
You think you can, right? Like, there's something like when you get caught watching something weird like that, like when that happens, like you're not an adult no more, right? You like I'm 40-year-old man and I'm still like, what? No, you don't understand. Like you try to explain like you're little kids. It's ridiculous. But like I said, I am looking forward to it. I'm ready for this next 5. You say it's going to be awesome. You say it's going to be the greatest 5 episodes of my anime watching career. Shane says, my dad walked in on me watching True Blood, a bizarre sex scene with 2 vampires. He breaks her neck and twists her head so he doesn't have to see her face. Oh, God.
What the heck?
That must have been. That must have been something. Yeah. You got any parting thoughts, Bianca?
Any parting thoughts? I'm excited for the next 5. And you will be too.
I already am. Like I said, I was ready to watch them, but I had to hold myself back. I'm like, no. I can't
Now
go
hold
far
back.
ahead.
Now hold back. Now hold back.
Also, I don't know if it's a guy thing, or if it's because I'm like a giant child. But I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go fight somebody now. Like I watched Baki and I was like ready to like beat people up. Like, yeah.
I don't know. That's always been a meme in the anime community. Like, hey, I hate running. You watch a sport on running. I love running now. I want to go run. Like it happens. It gets you in the specific type of mood.
Yeah, well, I was in that type of mood to like beat someone up. I was like, let's go outside. Go
Oh,
find
well,
somebody.
it was your son's birthday. You know, 18 punches. Let's go.
Yeah. Adrenaline. Oh.
Yeah.
I know. Well, it was good. Like I said, really exciting. I'm really excited for the next couple episodes. Hopefully, it doesn't get too crazy, because I think that's one of the problems with the newer season, right? Like they're so OP and like fucking Biscuits taking shotgun blasts. Like my fucking muscles are so strong that they can take shotguns. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
No, it's nowhere near that level in this original series, which is probably another reason why I like it so much. It's not that it's not over the top, because it still kind of is. That's some messed up weird powers here. But like I felt like it was just so
More grounded.
yeah, more grounded, while the Netflix one was so over exaggerated and weird.
Also, like a really like not to get too much into the Netflix one, but really overpowered. Like at one point, Biscuit, like this guy's like, my muscles are super strong and I've been training forever and I'm like a diamond, and he just like pushes him down by his head and like smushes him into like a little like fucking. Right? And then, we get the whole Yujiro anti-racism. Racism's bad. Don't be racist. I'm like, yeah, Netflix, don't be racist. And then like 4 episodes later, fuck the Chinese. They all suck. We're gonna beat their ass. I'm like, whoa, Netflix took a weird turn there.
Oh, you're gonna see that in the 2001. Yeah.
It's like, don't be racist to black people, but Chinese, fuck them, right? It's like, oh.
Well, I told you the Japanese and the Chinese have a history.
I know they do, but it's kind of weird. It's weird though, because World War II, the Japanese people they were the bad guys, raping and pillaging, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, let's make an anime where we're also gonna fucking talk shit about them. Like, damn, really, dude?
Yeah, and I believe there is some of that in this 2001 anime, but like the Chinese characters will always lose. They're jobbers, and it sucks. And I'm like, there's I believe his name is Retsu.
Yeah.
Like my brother and I, we love him. We love him so much.
He won his fight.
He did win his fight, but as soon as is with another like considered main, whether main antagonist or whatever, he just loses always. And we're like, can he just win like a major fight, please? Can you stop? Like, he's not a wuss, bro. Come on.
Tony watched Baki the fight not work out. No wonder why the weight loss challenge was canceled. Well, if you watch Baki, the Netflix one, at one point he's like all dehydrated and stuff. He's like all fucking anorexic, and he's like, I need energy, and he gets water and he just like fucking dumps all the sugar in it, He's like, I need 10,000 calories, and he just like drinks it. I'm like, what? It's like that's diabetes. He just like drank diabetes and like got all strong. I was like, it's not how that works. Pretty sure that's not how that works. Entire Asia has history with Japan.
Yeah, it's true.
Japanese and Chinese have beef. Yeah, you know what's the funny part though? The funniest part about it is that the people that we call Japanese are actually Chinese people.
Yes, originally.
Right? So the Japanese people that have beef with the Chinese people are actually just Chinese people that have beef with other Chinese people. The Japanese people are mostly dead because the Anu people, they were pushed out as the Chinese came from China into Japan and pushed out the natives that lived on the island. The more you know, people. Your little rainbow.
Like, who doesn't Japan has a beef with? They have a beef with Korea, too.
All I know is if they don't say that Yujiro is super strong because of the bomb that dropped on Japan and he, like, absorbed the fucking radiation, I'm going to be very sad.
That would be pretty awesome, in a way.
Like, he's just Godzilla, but in, like, fighting form, right? Like,
in human form.
Yeah. All right. I'm looking forward to the new episodes. Netflix one was good, but this one's going to be better. I'm sure of it. Many tournament arcs to come. My money's on Baki. Is he done losing? Is that it for him? It's like 5 episodes. He's no longer going to lose.
Nah, he's still going to lose some.
Okay.
You win some, you lose some in this journey.
Oh, the other thing before I forget, Netflix show. As much as I loved it, they built up those convicts, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, this is the 5 baddest convicts ever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're descending upon Japan. Is this ancient prophecies being fulfilled? And they're gonna fight Baki. And I'm like, oh shit, this fucking shit's going down.
Right.
Then they show up and they're like, those guys that are not Baki just beat their asses.
Mm-hmm.
The not Baki guys, the guys that Baki has previously whipped, have now whipped the 5 convicts that were supposed to be super badass.
It felt disappointing sometimes.
Yeah.
For this one, we didn't feel like that for the 2001.
It's good. Well, because there's no characters yet, right? We haven't established anybody, so we could just like everything just go with the flow.
And once they do, even when they do establish the characters, it still doesn't feel that way. It still doesn't feel that way. Like you said, the pacing is a little bit slower.
Good. I look forward to it. All right, we've bored you enough. It's been an hour. If you're watching the replay, thank you. Thank you for being here live. Of course, always thank you to my lovely co-host, Bianca. You can catch her on Myself in Comics or on... she probably does more on Nerdette's Newsstand, as she's Nerdette's wing lady.
Yeah, I'm our co-host. We have something like once every week.
Yeah. Whenever Nerdette's going on a drunken rant, Bianca's right there to
drunken rant
off the ledge. Isn't that what they say? Like they're like, Nerdette sounds like she's drunk all the time.
Which is weird. I don't hear it at all, but she also doesn't drink.
Yeah, I don't hear it. I hear it when I play. I don't watch things at 1 speed. I don't have time for that. So everything I listen to on YouTube is always cranked up to 2 times speed.
So things sound groggy usually when that happens.
Yeah. So when I crank it back down, like it's like, oh, everything sounds weird, right?
Yeah.
But no, Nerdette's awesome. And like I said, Bianca's always over there. Bianca needs to make more content on her channel.
I know. It's but I thought that this new job will help me with my schedule, but no, I'm still overly tired. So like, which is why I end up being guests on other people's channels, because I'm like, I don't have to do anything. I just sit here and talk.
I used to love that too. I used to be a guest on other people's channels. That was awesome. Now I'm trying to do my own shit, and I'm like, oh man, this. Some days I just want to cancel the stream. It's like, it's just too much effort to just push the like go live button. It's just too much. But Bianca has 294 subscribers. We need to get her up higher. She needs Didn't you just do like an interview with somebody today too?
Not today. I did it Wednesday. It was for a novelist, person who's done novels for a few years, and not like he has his own publishing company and all that stuff. So like I interviewed him, his 4 works, and then I gave him some feedback.
Awesome. Bianca does a lot of interviews, lots of interviews, which is weird that she doesn't have more of a following. I would think that you deserve far more subscribers than you have right now.
And I think it's because of the whole indie scene or comics in general is so niche.
I think it's your marketing. I'm gonna be honest with you.
My marketing does suck. I will agree with that.
You gotta advertise more, right? You gotta get out there. It happens. Christopher Lee Jackson. That's right. That's who she was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, you can find Bianca, myself, in comics. Find her on Tristan's channel or floating around the internets. Unless it's a full moon, in that case, she'll be out there hunting some deer in the forest. All right. As always, love, peace, booty grease. We out this bitch.